Sammo Hung, a true martial arts icon, has held a secret about Bruce Lee for decades. Until now. What astonishing revelation did Bruce Lee share with Sammo that he never disclosed to anyone? And why is Sammo finally breaking his silence after all these years? The truth is far from what you might expect, and it will leave you utterly stunned. Growing up in the bustling streets of Hong Kong, Sammo Hung experienced a childhood immersed in the lively yet chaotic world of local cinema. His parents, both skilled wardrobe artists, left him in the care of his grandparents, where the rich legacy of film was a constant presence. His grandmother, renowned martial arts actress Chin Tsiang, and his grandfather, director Hung Chung Ho, cast enormous shadows over his life, shaping his future in ways he only later understood. Hung began his training at the China Drama Academy, a famous Peking opera school. At just 9 years old, he embarked on a grueling journey of discipline and artistic mastery. Adopting the name Yuan Lung, he soon became the star of the Seven Little Fortunes. This performance group even counted Jackie Chan among its members. Their rivalry sparked a fierce passion that ignited their careers. At the same time, Hung found himself drawn into the world of film and stunts, a twist that changed everything. His early career was marked by both victories and setbacks. By the age of 14, a serious injury confined him to bed, transforming the agile dancer he once was into someone painfully immobile. It was a heavy burden indeed, as he struggled with weight, gain, and the search for his true identity. But his willpower burned bright. Embracing the nickname Sammo, inspired by a beloved cartoon character, he re-entered the film industry as a stuntman and slowly built a formidable reputation. A turning point came in 1988 with the movie Painted Faces, which powerfully recounted his time at the academy. The film showcased the brutal training that forged both his body and his spirit. Even though some harsh realities were softened for the screen, the echoes of laughter and pain were unmistakably real. His life experiences were not mere background. They became integral to his creative expression, intricately woven into his personal story. During the 1960s and 70s, Hung appeared on the big screen as a child actor, starting with minor roles. In films like Education of Love, a chance encounter with Jackie Chan in Big and Little Wong Tin Bar cemented a friendship that would last a lifetime. It was at Shaw Brothers Studio where he honed his skills to perfection. He balanced roles as an extra and a stunt coordinator with determination. Then, a rising star emerged as an action director in a world that adored martial arts. While he choreographed electrifying fight scenes for classics like Enter the Dragon, the 1970s shone brightly for Hung. But behind the sparkle, trouble loomed. As the industry began to shift, comedy films started to dominate, pushing traditional martial arts flicks aside and forcing Hung to adapt. His debut as a director, The Iron-Fisted Monk, cleverly blended humor with martial arts, paving the way for a new genre that reflected his distinctive vision. In the 1980s, Hung emerged as a trailblazer, breathing life into the Lucky Stars comedy series by merging high-energy action with comedy. It was a time filled with camaraderie and teamwork, where Hung, Jackie Chan, and Wan Biao became celebrated idols in their own right. Yet even amid the laughter, the pressure to remain at the pinnacle was palpable. The weight of being a leading figure bore down on him relentlessly. As the industry transformed, so too did Hung's ideas. His films began to mirror a changing society, moving away from old fantasies to reveal a more authentic and gritty portrayal of martial arts in urban life. High-octane, adrenaline-charged fight scenes in films like Winners and Sinners truly defined the explosive vibe of the 1980s for audiences. Yet, behind his charismatic on-screen persona, Hung wrestled with personal struggles and turbulent relationships. Behind closed doors, the 1990s unleashed a whirlwind of change, including a dramatic split from Golden Harvest, forcing Hung to forge his own unique path. Despite lingering doubts and inner demons, he relentlessly created, directed, and acted, in movies that boldly mirrored every one of his life's trials and triumphs. Yet the haunting echoes of his past and the indelible marks they left often rang louder than the cheers. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Hung began seizing fresh opportunities. The hit TV show Martial Law, showcasing his irresistible charm and raw talent. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee, born Lee Jun-fan in San Francisco, entered a chaotic world that seemed to spiral wildly, devoid of any stability. His parents, Lee Chun and Grace Ho, were consumed by their own dreams, leaving no room for stability. Only 4 months after his birth in November 1940, life took a startling turn. He was whisked back to Hong Kong, where chaos reigned supreme. By December 1941, war was pounding at their door as the Japanese occupation turned Hong Kong completely upside down, dragging the Lee family into a relentless daily struggle brimming with fear and uncertainty. The promise of a new life was smothered by the weight of mere survival. Far removed from the dazzling movie sets Bruce would eventually grace, his family. History added complex layers to his identity. Grace hailed from Shanghai, blending Cantonese and English roots, while Bruce also had connections to wealth. Yet, money could not shield him from life's brutal truths. The magnetic pull of the film world beckoned him from a tender age. His father's opera fame unlocked doors, allowing young Bruce to step into the spotlight early on. By his first year, he appeared in Golden Gate Girl, already earning the nickname Lee the Little Dragon. That evocative nickname revealed the fierce spirit burning within him. Even as a child adrift in an unpredictable world, Bruce starred alongside his father, yet school proved to be an unforgiving battleground. Plagued by academic struggles, he hopped from one school to another, while his passion for street fighting grew and alarmed his parents. In their concern, they steered him toward martial arts to instill discipline. However, mastering Wing Chun was far from an easy feat indeed. Bruce's diverse heritage nearly barred him from training with the revered Ip Man. Finally, Bruce received the opportunity he desperately needed, courtesy of his friend William Chung. The gritty streets of Hong Kong proved to be a crucible of conflict, and he soon found himself embroiled in numerous brawls, one of which was a fierce clash with the son of a powerful triad. Bruce fought with fierce intensity, leaving his opponents battered and even drawing police attention. His mother had to intervene, signing papers to ensure he would not stir up further trouble. Yet, misfortune shadowed him as every brawl revealed his burning passion. In 1959, his parents made a life-altering decision. They sent him to the United States for a fresh new start indeed. The farewell was heavy and steeped in uncertainty. Bruce embarked on a new life, leaving everything behind. Initially, he stayed with his sister, Agnes, in San Francisco before moving to Seattle to complete high school. He worked in a restaurant and lived in a cramped apartment above it, juggling both work and school. Life was simple, yet far from easy. As time passed, Bruce matured and began sharing his martial arts wisdom with friends, unknowingly laying the foundation for a future beyond his wildest dreams. It was never about fame or fortune. It was purely about survival. He eventually opened his first school, the Lee Jun-fan Kung Fu Institute, drawing students with his infectious passion and skill. Enrolling at the University of Washington, Bruce eagerly immersed himself in drama, philosophy, and psychology. But he quickly found the classroom too confining. By 1964, he dropped out and moved to Oakland, where he joined forces with fellow martial artist James Yim Lee to open a new school. Together, they began to earn respect and recognition in the martial arts world. Bruce's reputation soared to new heights, especially after a standout performance at the Long Beach International Karate Championships, where he dazzled everyone with his legendary one-inch punch. Not every battle unfolded on stage, though. One of his most significant fights occurred in 1964 against Wong Jack Man, a gifted martial artist from San Francisco. This personal fight was ignited by a challenge to teach martial arts to non-Chinese students, and its details remain murky. Some claim the battle lasted over 20 minutes, while others say it ended in just 3 rounds. What truly mattered was its profound impact. Bruce realized he had to evolve, getting stronger and faster by breaking free from traditional martial arts limits. During these challenging years, feeling like an outsider weighed heavily on him. Between 1966 and 1970, his U.S. career began to soar with his role as Kaito in The Green Hornet, a show that thrust Asian martial arts into the American spotlight. Bruce's skills shone brilliantly, even if he often had to hold back in front of the cameras. After The Green Hornet, Bruce trained with Gene LaBelle, expanding his Hollywood network and diving into a variety of projects. During this time, he honed his martial arts philosophy and created Jeet Kune Do in 1967, challenging rigid traditions with a push for adaptability and practical fighting techniques. He even trained Hollywood celebrities like James Coburn, seamlessly blending his martial arts career with acting and influencing action choreography in the film industry. In 1971, seeking a break from discrimination and missed opportunities in America, Bruce returned to Hong Kong, where he instantly became a colossal star with films like The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, shattering box office records across Asia. His fame soared further with the launch of his own production company, granting him full creative control. Way of the Dragon, featuring an iconic fight with Chuck Norris, marked the peak of his career, until tragedy struck. Just as Enter the Dragon, the first American co-produced film, was set to release. Enter the Dragon became a global sensation, yet Bruce's life was tragically cut short just days before its release. In that poignant moment, the world lost not only a martial arts legend, but also a man who battled adversity to forge his own path in a misunderstood world. Following his sudden death, director Robert Clouse faced the immense challenge of completing Game of Death, a project Bruce had begun but never finished. By that time, he had already filmed over 100 minutes of footage with martial arts legends such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Ji Han-jae. The story follows Bruce's character, Hai Tin, as he ascends a pagoda, confronting a new opponent on each level. Since the film remained unfinished, Clouse took a bold approach by incorporating a Bruce lookalike, Kim Tai-chung, and stunt double Yuan Biao, while skillfully blending in archived footage of Lee to forge a new narrative. A true testament to his enduring legacy. When it finally hit theaters in 1978, it contained only about 15 minutes of actual Bruce Lee footage, sparking outrage from fans and critics alike. In 2000, almost 22 years after Bruce Lee passed away too soon, something extraordinary happened. Old footage emerged, offering fans a rare glimpse into Lee's vision for Game of Death. This discovery reignited excitement around his phenomenal work. In 1972, after The Big Boss and Fist of Fury made waves, Bruce was electrified by a new yellow-faced tiger project with director Lo Wei. However, he ultimately went on to direct Way of the Dragon, a film that showcased his one-of-a-kind style. Sadly, it didn't work out as planned. After his death, another project titled The Seven Sons of the Jade Dragon was in the pipeline with Shaw Brothers Studio. Yet it too never reached completion. Even though these dreams never came to fruition, Bruce Lee's spirit lived on through scripts that never hit the screen and innovative reinterpretations of his ideas. Jump to 2015, when his daughter, Shannon Lee, joined forces with Perfect Storm Entertainment to bring one of Bruce's original concepts to life, leading to the TV show The Warrior, directed by Justin Lin. The series premiered on Cinemax in 2019 and even secured a second season. A small but meaningful victory on a long road of dreams. Then, in 2021, producer Jason Cathari acquired the rights to Bruce's unfinished work, The Silent Flute, with hopes of transforming it into a mini-series. Even though these projects never fully materialized, they vividly captured Bruce's deep desire to push martial arts in cinema to new heights, leaving behind a sensational legacy of unfulfilled dreams that still inspire fans and filmmakers. But Bruce Lee was more than just his films. His friendships and personal struggles defined him. At his funeral, some of his closest friends and students helped carry his coffin alongside Hollywood legends like Steve McQueen and James Coburn. Coburn, who trained with Bruce and participated in the silent flute, delivered a touching eulogy. At the same time, McQueen embodied the kind of success Bruce admired. His influence transcended generations, reaching students like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Chuck Norris, who learned from him and remained close to his family long after he was gone. Collaborations with figures like Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate further showcase the vast extent of his impact. Despite all his triumphs, Bruce faced significant battles in his later years. Now let's explore how Sammo Hung finally unveils the shocking truth about Bruce Lee. It all began when the public started noticing Bruce's profound influence on actors like Jackie Chan, whose admiration still shines through in every film he makes. I've watched every Jackie Chan movie there is, he often says with a nostalgic smile. But it's more than just the films that connect him to Bruce. It's the tales of a historic friendship forged under the dazzling lights of Hong Kong cinema. Sammo Hung recalls their first encounter with a mix of respect and humor. I remember the very first time I met Bruce Lee. He begins, his voice brimming with admiration. Back then, Bruce wasn't the superstar he would later become. He was just a guy with a dream of visiting Hong Kong. When I was introduced to him, I felt the intense pressure of the moment and mustered the courage to ask, "Are you that fast?" What happened next is a story that still lingers in my mind. I tried to kick Bruce, but before I could even blink, he had already landed a perfectly precise hit. My foot didn't even get halfway. He laughs, his words laced with disbelief. He'd never witnessed such speed, almost as if it belonged to another world. Over time, Jackie and I became deeply immersed in the martial arts scene. But nothing felt the same without Bruce. He was more than a friend. He was a guiding star, lighting the way for us all. Every time Bruce entered a room, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. His presence pulling you in like a powerful magnet and igniting a spark in everyone nearby. Eventually, however, our paths diverged, leaving Jackie and me to shoulder a legacy that sometimes felt unbearably heavy. We often reflect on our struggles following Bruce's sudden passing. The heartache of losing a mentor, a brother in arms, was profound. So, let's not remain idle, but learn valuable lessons from these remarkable personalities, because you all deserve this limelight. Every comment and like fuels the enduring spirit of Bruce's legacy. With that, I conclude today's video.